Secret origins of the Enneagram. It doesn't matter if you know a little or a lot about the Enneagram. This is insight into its origins that you've never heard before. Whenever you've looked at an Enneagram, you've always seen it as a two-dimensional shape with three parts: a circle, a triangle, and a six-pointed polygon. You see a flat image of these three shapes making up a symbol that has unknown origins. What you don't know is that this is a two-dimensional rendering of a three-dimensional structure. Joe Truss discovered that the Enneagram is a three-dimensional structure which manifests through vertices of the icosahedron. An icosahedron has 20 equilateral triangle faces, 30 edges, and 12 vertices. The vertices are points where 5 different triangles connect, making pentagrams. While this demonstration won't show the Enneagram at the exact angle and distance, it is the easiest way to see an Enneagram in the three-dimensional icosahedron. Place the icosahedron on any of the triangles so that one of the 3 points at the base faces you, such that the other 2 vertices are visually the same distance on either side of the icosahedron. Of the 12 vertices, ignore the front part of the base and the 2 vertices that are closest and furthest away from you. The other 9 vertices make up the Enneagram. This is hard to see now, but watch and learn as Joe and Dave Truss discuss this insight, discovered by Joe, which also reveals further significant insights that this origin of the Enneagram lead to.
I am here with Joe Truss, who is going to reveal the secret behind where the Enneagram came from. And from what I understand, you are the first person to discover that the Enneagram comes out of an icosahedron.
Yes, as far as I know, and as far as Stafford Beer, who I collaborated with on a lot of this work, all the checking that we did, all the research, there is no reporting, there's nothing anywhere that we have found about the Enneagram that indicates any knowledge of the fact that it is actually a three-dimensional object and that it sits inside an icosahedron, which is essentially what we will be showing you how that actually works. This is an icosahedron, for many people better known as Buckminster Fuller's geodesic dome, the basis of the geodesic dome, but this is the form in which we will talk about where the Enneagram arises.
And so, lifting that up again,
Yep.
What you see is you're holding the base so that the bottom triangle is pointing towards us.
Towards you, that's correct.
And if you look to the right of Joe, what you see is a deconstructed version of that. So you're seeing the inside workings and the structure that holds it, and it's been broken down. So that's what you're seeing there.
That is correct. So we take this, and if I take away this front pen cap,
That's what you see.
You're looking
Yes.
in there.
And so this is right here, the Enneagram. Can you tell us a little bit about the Enneagram?
This is the Enneagram as it is depicted in every known form as a two-dimensional figure, right?
Correct.
And it is inside of a circle, and it has 9 points, which is why it's called the Enneagram. And those 9 points are actually, in the two-dimensional diagram, are equidistant from each other all the way around. Mm-hmm. And you can see why that is actually, that's a perspective, it's an optical perspective. The actual diagram is, the object itself is quite different.
Okay, so let's do the reveal here. So the easiest thing is the main triangle, which is the 9-3-6 triangle.
That's right.
So here's the 9 at the top, coming down to the 3, and then moving across to the 6, and back up to the 9. And to review, we have the bottom base triangle facing to us. When we have that, that's what allows the 3-6-9 to be oriented and for us to be able to see the Enneagram, or for you to see the Enneagram, because no one saw it here before. But we start at 1, which is a front strut.
Yeah.
A front strut here.
Yeah.
And it comes down to 4. And then, so it's going from the front to the back of the icosahedron, and then up to spot number 2, and then then up to the front again to 8, down to the back to 5, then up to 7, 7, and from 7 you come back to 1.
To 1.
Right? And so I'll try and do that a little tidier now. 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7, and back to 1. And there you have the hidden secret of where it came from. Now, because you recognize that it comes from a 3-dimensional object, is incredible, because you can see all different kinds of patterns, right? Like the golden rectangle, which we'll talk about in a second, because I want to go back to the drawing. And when you go back to the drawing, the 5 and the 4 are closer than the 8 and the 1. Right? And so what you have here is a shape where these go in. And so 5 and 4 are closer than 8 and 1. However, that's in a 2-dimensional drawing. But your insight shows the Y and shows that they're actually a golden rectangle. But instead of being vertical like this, it's tilted like this.
Exactly. So here are my arms. And if this is a golden, what it means to be a golden rectangle is that this distance is about 1.6 something of the whole. And so every time you take this, the short distance is always a proportion of the larger distance is a proportion of the larger difference. That's what the rectangle is. So the edge of an icosahedron with this distance of the enneagrammatic triangle, that makes up a golden rectangle. So if I hold my golden rectangle like this in front of you and it's vertical, it's parallel. But if I go like this looks farther ahead than that, but it's still parallel. So that's called an affine transformation. As you move an object, a real object, through space, you alter the angles that you are seeing optically.
And that is the brilliance of knowing. That's just one of the secrets that you're able to uncover, because you understand that the Enneagram comes from a 3-dimensional icosahedron.
Because if you measure any of the angles in that figure, you will not get a golden rectangle, because it's not 90 degrees, because you are looking at this. And so what seems to be not parallel is in fact the parallel lines that are oriented towards you. In any 3-dimensional object that will occur, you cannot in fact dimensionalize the 3-dimensional object into 2 dimensions without distorting either a distance or an angle. So you're squishing it. So you're changing all of the angles, you're changing all the distances. And when you bring it back into its full form, the true resonance of the Enneagram, which is Fibonacci, the golden rectangle, and 3 intersecting orthogonal golden rectangles makes an icosahedron. That will take a further explanation, but
it absolutely will. But I want to end here with just that idea that the Enneagram comes out of an icosahedron, and that is new knowledge that you're sharing. Perhaps the Sifus of the past that gained this insight understood this, but this is really lost knowledge for a very long time.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.